You know you've made a mistake when your GPS sends you to Titan instead of Triton. It's like typing in Starbucks and ending up at a goat farm because, hey, both have milk. Chase, our ever-chaotic space traveler, found himself in that exact predicament, heading straight for Saturn's Titan instead of Neptune's Triton. To be fair, the names do sound like a cosmic prank. But mix-ups aside, this detour sparked one of the weirdest, funniest, and most dangerous space adventures imaginable. Let's unravel the icy mysteries of Triton, the moon that laughs in the face of logic, retrogrades around Neptune like it owns the place, and may or may not be harboring alien shrimp under its frozen crust. Triton versus Titan. First things first, Triton and Titan are not the same. They're not even distant cousins at a space reunion. Titan orbits Saturn and is famous for having lakes of methane. Triton, on the other hand, belongs to Neptune and has ice volcanoes. That's like comparing Venice, water, boats, canals, with Iceland, volcanoes, ice, Björk. Totally different vibes. Distance-wise, the mix-up is even more brutal. While Titan chills about 1.4 billion kilometers from the Sun, Triton lurks all the way out at 4.5 billion kilometers. If you plotted a course to Triton from Titan, you'd be staring down a 3 billion kilometer road trip. Forget snacks, you'd need an entire space Costco. Saturn and Neptune happen to be relatively close right now in their orbital dance. When they're on opposite ends of the solar system, Titan and Triton are almost 6 billion kilometers apart. That's enough to make Google Maps throw up its hands and say, "Good luck, buddy." Meet Triton, the moon that shouldn't be. Triton is the largest moon of Neptune, measuring about 2,700 kilometers in diameter, bigger than Pluto, but just shy of beating our own moon in a size contest. And yet, what makes Triton famous isn't its size, it's the fact that it runs backward. Unlike Neptune's other moons that orbit politely along the equator, Triton goes full rebel, orbiting in the opposite direction of Neptune's rotation. Astronomers call this a retrograde orbit. Translation: Triton is literally going against the flow, like that one guy who insists on jogging the wrong way around the track. This behavior suggests Triton wasn't born alongside Neptune. Instead, scientists believe it was once a wandering object from the Kuiper Belt that Neptune's gravity kidnapped billions of years ago. In other words, Triton is the cosmic equivalent of someone crashing a party and staying forever. Oh, and it's not just backward, it's tilted at a ridiculous 157 degrees. If moons had personalities, Triton would be that eccentric uncle who insists gravity is a government conspiracy. When ice blows its top. When you think volcano, you probably imagine molten lava, ash clouds, and some unfortunate tourist roasting marshmallows too close. Triton, however, laughs at that stereotype. Instead of lava, it has cryovolcanoes, volcanoes that spew freezing slush and nitrogen gas. Picture a fire hydrant, but instead of water, it launches icy goo several kilometers into the sky. That's Triton's idea of fireworks. Voyager 2, during its 1989 flyby, captured plumes stretching up to 8 kilometers high. That's taller than Mount Everest, except instead of rock, it's made of snow cones gone horribly wrong. It's one of the rare places in the solar system where volcanic activity still happens, joining the club with Earth, Jupiter's Io, and a few other icy moons. The difference is that while Io burns with rivers of lava, Triton basically sneezes nitrogen slush into space. Metal? Number frozen yogurt machine on steroids? Absolutely. Is there life on Triton? Here's where things get even juicier, or icier. Triton's surface temperature averages a bone-cracking minus 235 degrees Celsius, minus 391 degrees Fahrenheit. That's just 38 degrees above absolute zero, the coldest temperature physically possible. If you took your helmet off there, your saliva and tears would literally start boiling from the lack of pressure, while the rest of you froze solid. Basically, a popsicle with explosive decompression as a bonus. But under that icy death trap, possibly a liquid ocean. Scientists believe Triton may hide a subsurface ocean kept warm by radioactive decay from its rocky metallic core. If true, this ocean could mix with the right chemicals, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, to potentially support life. Maybe microbes, maybe algae, or maybe terrifying shrimp beasts plotting their escape. In fact, Triton is often compared to Pluto thanks to their eerie similarities in composition, density, and temperature. Some scientists even think the two might be space siblings separated at birth. Triton was the one Neptune kidnapped. Pluto got stuck in dwarf planet purgatory, cantaloupe skin, and moon murder. When Voyager 2 photographed Triton, scientists noticed something odd: large, bumpy fields that looked suspiciously like the skin of a cantaloupe. Naturally, they called it cantaloupe terrain. Not exactly poetic, but hey, when you're running on coffee and 1980s data processing, you take what you can get. But Triton's quirks don't stop there. This moon might actually be a moon killer. When Neptune captured Triton, its retrograde orbit destabilized Neptune's original moons, causing many of them to crash, collide, or get ejected into interstellar space. Imagine showing up to a family reunion, eating everyone's snacks, and then kicking half your cousins out of the house. That's Triton, the deadly atmosphere. Triton has an atmosphere, but don't get too excited. It's 70,000 times thinner than Earth's. Made mostly of nitrogen with a sprinkle of methane and carbon monoxide. It's just thick enough to mess with you, but too thin to actually help. If you stepped outside without protection, you'd have 15 seconds before unconsciousness from lack of oxygen. Add in explosive lung rupture and instant frostbite, and you've got yourself a quick but memorable obituary. Went to Triton, lasted less than a TikTok video. 5 seconds on Triton. Our unlucky space vlogger Chase didn't travel billions of kilometers just to look at cantaloupe terrain from orbit. No, he wanted to set foot on a cryovolcano, because nothing screams good decision like hopping onto an unstable surface full of fractures while gravity is only 8% of Earth's. If you misstep on Triton, you don't stumble, you float off into an endless icy abyss, waving goodbye to your Wi-Fi signal forever. But Chase, armed with spiky boots and questionable confidence, clocked his 5 seconds on Triton. He even considered summiting a cryovolcano, until of course the surface began collapsing beneath him. The good news? He survived. The bad news? He almost summoned his own funeral service along with that cryovolcano. Why Triton matters? For all the jokes, Triton remains one of the most fascinating moons in our solar system. It's got an active surface, possible oceans, and a mysterious origin story. It's a captured outsider, a cosmic rebel, and maybe even a cradle for alien life. We have only visited it once. Voyager 2 zipped past in 1989, grabbed a few snapshots of about 40% of the surface, and then left for interstellar space. That was it. No landers, no orbiters, no return visits. Triton is basically the most interesting party guest at the solar system gathering, and we've barely said hello. NASA has tossed around mission ideas, but nothing concrete has launched yet. Until then, Triton remains a frozen enigma, a place where water might flow under miles of ice, where geysers blast nitrogen into the sky, and where the surface looks like produce gone bad. The moon worth the trouble. Chase may joke about his 5 seconds on Triton, but honestly, those 5 seconds highlight just how wild and important this moon really is. Triton is more than just a cosmic mix-up with Titan. It's a geological marvel, a potential alien habitat, and a window into the chaotic history of the solar system. So the next time you mix up Titan and Triton, remember, one will drown you in methane lakes, the other will freeze-boil you in seconds, and both are totally worth exploring. Because if curiosity can drive someone to spend 5 years traveling through space for just 5 seconds on Triton, maybe it's worth sending humanity back for a little longer. And that's a wrap on our icy adventure to Neptune's rebel moon, Triton. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the weirdest corner of our solar system, don't forget to hit that like and smash that subscribe button. Until next time, keep looking up, and maybe double check your navigation before you end up on the wrong moon.